In this video, we'll show you the procedure for servicing a BETS internal air emergency valve. Please observe all safety guidelines, use correct tools, and wear the appropriate safety apparel when performing any of these operations. As with any maintenance work, proper safety gear and procedures must be used at all times. A list of hazards may include, but are not limited to, contents under pressure, loaded springs, pinch points, residual product, flammable or toxic liquids, and vapors. Before you perform these procedures, please refer to the manual for complete information on service procedures. To rebuild a BETS internal air EV, you will need one of two kits: EV-75435 ALTS for valves with a 3-inch cylinder, or EV-75450 ALTS for valves with a 4-inch cylinder. These are the two standard seal kit options. Other kits are available for alternate O-ring and seal material. It is critical to make sure the proper seal kit is specified to match the valve being rebuilt and the O-rings are compatible with the product being hauled and service temperature. Seal kits do not include the main disc O-ring seal. This must be ordered separately depending on the size of your valve. Remove the 4 cap screws and lock washers on the air cylinder cap. Slowly remove the air cylinder cap with a slight twisting motion. Be careful, as there may be retained product within the cylinder that could still be under pressure. Taking care not to scratch the groove, use a flathead screwdriver or an O-ring pick to remove the cap seal from the air cylinder cap. Clean away all dirt or debris and inspect all sealing surfaces of the air cylinder cap for damage and/or wear. Taking care not to scratch the groove, use a flathead screwdriver or an O-ring pick to remove the air cylinder bore seal from the O-ring holder. Clean away all dirt or debris and inspect O-ring groove for damage and/or wear. Secure the valve body in a vise by clamping onto one of the 3 aluminum bosses on the bottom of the mounting flange. Use a 1 7/8 inch hex on top of piston to unscrew the piston and decompress the spring. A rag may be placed over the piston during disassembly to minimize the splatter of lubricant. The piston air supply shaft is under load, so remove with caution. Remove piston and spring from assembly. In many instances, the air supply shaft and piston might come off as one piece and will need to be separated using the following method. Place the hex of the piston in a vise and loosen the air supply shaft with the 5/16 Allen key by turning clockwise. Never clamp on the air supply shaft because this will damage the sealing surface. If the air supply shaft remains on the body when the piston is removed, use a 5/16 Allen key to loosen and unscrew the air supply shaft. The O-ring holder and air supply shaft can be removed together. Using a pick or similar small tool, carefully remove the small air supply shaft O-ring, taking care not to scratch the groove. Remove the valve body from the vise and place it on the workbench. Taking care not to scratch the groove, use a flathead screwdriver or O-ring pick to remove the small O-ring hub seal from the valve body. Clean away all dirt or debris and inspect all sealing surfaces of the valve body for damage and/or wear. Turn the valve body over and, using a 7/16 inch wrench, loosen and remove the drop tube. Using a small screwdriver or pick tool, remove the snap ring from the O-ring holder. Then, remove the bearing ring, the U-cup, and the air supply shaft O-ring. Clean and inspect the O-ring holder bore for damage and/or wear. Inspect the main seat O-ring on the outside of the disc for damage or excessive wear. This seal is not part of the rebuild kit and does not need to be replaced if undamaged. If the main seat O-ring needs to be replaced, carefully remove with pick or similar small tool, being careful not to damage or scratch O-ring groove. If a metal screwdriver is used, expect to see a scratch in the groove, which must be polished out with fine emery paper prior to proceeding. To install new O-ring, lubricate and snap into place by hand. The use of tools during install can damage the O-ring. Open the rebuild kit packaging and take inventory of all the parts in the kit. The seal kit will include parts that may not be required for your style of valve rebuild. Use a low-temperature silicone lubricant, BETS part number 7B6161 or 7B6163. Apply a small amount to the inner surfaces of the disc. Orientation of the U-cup seal is very important. Insert U-cup with the open side of the U-cup facing out as shown. Press it into the bore by hand. Metal insert in U-cup seal will be visible after proper installation. Install the bearing with the stepped side facing inward toward the U-cup. Next, install the snap ring by inserting the square end into the groove, then flexing the ring into the groove until it snaps into place. Turn the O-ring holder over and install air supply shaft O-ring carefully into the groove. This is a blind groove, so be sure O-ring is seated completely and evenly in groove. Apply a small amount of silicone lubricant to the seal after installation. Install the small O-ring into the air supply shaft. Fully seat O-ring into the O-ring channel at the bottom of the air supply shaft. Apply a small amount of silicone lubricant to the outside of the air supply shaft in the area shown. Insert the air supply shaft into the top side of the disc using only gentle hand pressure. Set the O-ring holder assembly aside and install the hub O-ring into the groove on valve body hub. Apply a small amount of silicone lubricant to the hub O-ring seal after installation. Apply a small amount of thread sealant to the threads of the hub, being careful not to get any sealant on the O-ring. Reinstall the O-ring holder and air supply shaft assembly onto the valve body. Use a 3/8" Allen wrench and tighten to approximately 15 foot-pounds. Hand compress the O-ring holder down until it mates with the valve body. Install the air cylinder bore seal and cap seal and apply a small amount of silicone lubricant to the O-rings. If the threads of the air supply shaft are lacking lubricant, apply anti-seize compound as needed. A new piston assembly is part of the kit and comes with piston O-ring and U-cup seal already installed. Sparingly apply silicone lubricant to the piston O-ring. Place the spring in the cup of the O-ring holder. Using the new piston assembly, compress the spring and thread the piston assembly onto the air supply shaft. While holding the valve body in place, thread piston assembly onto air supply shaft to compress spring. Tighten to approximately 15 foot-pounds. Apply a small amount of silicone lubricant to the U-cup seal. Note: do not use too much silicone lubricant, as excess can cause problems with air systems, especially in cold temperatures. Lubricate the air cylinder cap with a small amount of silicone lubricant. Apply the air cylinder cap at a slight angle at first to allow the cap to go over the seal without damage. Hand compress the air cylinder cap until you hear it snap into place as it passes the O-ring holder seals and mates flush with the O-ring holder. Rotate the air cylinder cap to line up the holes for the cap screws. Install 4 cap screws and lock washers. Hand tighten, then snug them using a 7/16" wrench in a crisscross pattern. Cap screws can be tightened to 10 foot-pounds. Reinstall the drop tube by installing the fitting and tightening with a 7/16" wrench to 10 foot-pounds. Install the drop tube over the fitting until it snaps into place. To test for proper actuation of the valve, install a standard air fitting into the air inlet of the valve body and apply 80 to 125 psi compressed air. Take extreme care that hands, clothing, hair, or any other foreign objects are clear of the valve's moving parts while opening and closing. After the valve is charged and open, check for any air leakage out of the drop tube. This can be done by spraying soapy water on the outlet or feeling for air with your finger. Leakage indicates failure of one or more of the internal seals. Disconnect shop air and verify the valve returns to its closed position smoothly and completely. The rebuild is complete.